I've noticed lately a lot of YouTubers, big YouTubers, are quitting the YouTube game. And I watched a video on Matty Hapoya announcing that he was quitting YouTube. Now, I didn't know who the heck that was, but I watched it because I was curious, which caused the YouTube algorithm to start suggesting to me other videos about that, and then other videos about that, and then so on and so forth. And then there were people making videos about why these YouTubers are quitting YouTube, and it's a rabbit hole that's easy to get sucked into. Then, because the algorithm is going to do what the algorithm does, it started suggesting videos to me about people who posted videos about how YouTube has changed their life. You know, even though their channel maybe not that big, they've talked about how the positive things YouTube has done in their life and how it changed their life. So that got me thinking, we're coming up next Friday on the anniversary of my YouTube journey beginning 8 years ago. So I thought I would do a deep dive, not just make a video about how YouTube changed my life, because in some ways it did and in some ways it didn't. But I want to go over my YouTube journey, how it started, where it's at, maybe talk about some of the equipment I use, and where I would like it to go in the future. Now, the story of why I started doing YouTube, I've gone into it countless times, so I'll try to keep it short, not take up too much time. Since we've heard it so many times before. But it all started at the ripe old age, 35, in 2016. When I started the channel based on a friend's notification, or a friend's recommendation. When I was making a couple videos on Facebook, and she said, "Hey, you should put these on YouTube." And I was skeptical, but I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. So that's what I did. I started me a YouTube channel, named it after myself, I believe, because I didn't know what to call it. And the whole reason I started making videos was because, you know, you see videos going around Facebook sometime, and I've seen a bunch of videos by certain people, and they're talking Bible and stuff like that. And some of them I'm like, they're wrong about the Bible. And on the other hand, I'm like, I could do a better job than this. Now, maybe I didn't do a better job, but that's what I thought at the time. So that's why I started making videos. And I got on YouTube, didn't really know what I was doing. I was just recording videos on my lunch break, talking about the Bible. I started listening to podcasts. And eventually decided I wanted to start a podcast. So I had a podcast and a YouTube channel, and the content on each one was different. It was all Bible stuff, but it was different topics. And I did that for about a year, and I was like, this is a little bit too much to handle. So I combined them together to make the Gospel of Forgiveness podcast, which is what my podcast was called when I started. And my YouTube channel was called While We Were Yet Sinners, and I just combined them together into the Gospel of Forgiveness podcast. And that's what it was for the last. See, I've been doing this 8 years to the last 7 years. Because the first year, we didn't have a name or anything, and it's been that way ever since until we rebranded the channel, which we'll talk about in a minute. So we were going along, and of course, I want to get better at what I do, so I'm buying better equipment. I'm buying subscription on a podcast hosting website, editing software, and all the stuff. Got stickers made, and we were doing giveaways over there. Every now and then I'd give a Bible away, and I was going fine, but just it didn't grow, and the reason it didn't grow, and you look at my channel now, 8 years on YouTube, and I only have 450 something subscribers, is because I'm not really a marketing person. I'm not really a push my channel kind of person. I was under the thing like, well, if God wants it to grow, it'll grow in His time, and that's how it was. I'm actually kind of surprised we got as many subscribers as we got now. And we kept doing that. Bible doctrine. Eventually, I broke down the podcast into seasons so that I could have 2 months off a year. July and December, I'd take off from podcasting. And that's what it was. So as I continued to do the podcast, of course, I wanted it to grow. So we tried new things, got a website up and going, did some merch, bought some better equipment. I don't know how visited the website was. It was okay. I mean, I like having a website. I thought I did a pretty good job designing it. But you know how much traffic it got? I'm not real sure. And the merch didn't take off quite like I thought it was going to. I had these shirts I would wear when I was doing the podcast, and people would always be like, "Where'd you get that shirt? Where'd you get that shirt?" And I have to tell them, the place I got them from, they're not in business anymore. So I thought if I started the merch store, I could make similar designs, and there was already a demand for them. But apparently that's not how it works. Because everybody wanted to know where I got my shirts until I started offering them for sale, and then nobody wanted to buy them. But it is what it is. And did I get hate? I mean, anytime you put yourself out there talking about the Bible, religion, spiritual things in general in the public square, you're going to get hate. It's not going to be from atheists either. You might think, oh, you're talking about God and atheists want to argue with you. Very seldom did an atheist want to argue with me. It was mostly Christians. Yeah, it was mainly Christians that want to argue, so-called Christians that want to argue with you because, your brand of doctrine just ain't like theirs, and they have to tell you about it. And, every now and then you get a random religious weirdo. I remember I had one of those where the dude is just going off in the comment, and I'm not sure if he's agreeing with me or disagreeing because I don't really understand what he's talking about. So, yeah, I knew that going in, that if I was going to put myself out there talking about Bible, I was going to get some attention, warranted and unwarranted, wanted and unwanted. Hey, Stellars. Every now and then I do an occasional Bible review, or I did reviews on some other things too. But let me tell you something. If you're new to YouTube and you need to get your views up, because some of the features when you're new on YouTube, you have to reach certain milestones for certain features to unlock. like you have to get this many views, and then they let you have this, and then you get this many views, and they let you have this total views on your channel as a whole. If you want to get that number up, reviews, even if that's not the main audience of your channel, throw in a couple reviews. My highest videos, I think I got a review video of a Bible I did. It's got like 4,000 views on it. So just toss in a review every now and then if you need to get that view count up. Because reviews wasn't my main thing, but I did like doing them, so I'd throw one in every now and then. And I noticed, you get thousands of views just for, my regular content would be 50, 60 views an episode, but I throw in a review and it would have thousands of views on it. So there's a tip for you if you're just starting out in YouTube, whatever it is you're doing. If you can find something related to your content, because like I said, Bible reviews weren't my thing, but Bibles are related to my content. So doing a Bible review, got the views up. So if you can figure out how to do that on your channel, it'll help you out if you're, just starting out. So we were going along doing that, doing we do series. I did the Mysteries of the New Testament series. That one got quite a bit of hate. I think I did a series on baptism and stuff like that. And I'll be honest with you, the more we got farther along, the more I was like, well, what else is there to talk about? I even tried talking about early on, tried talking about polemics. I tried talking about uh, not heresy. Well, I did talk about heresy, but that was before I really had a better grasp of what that word meant. But I talked about modern Christianity and how it's straying from the Bible. I talked about King James versus other translations and stuff like that. And it started getting a little bit difficult trying to figure out what to talk about. Not that I didn't have, not that there wasn't topics to talk about, but I'm like, not some topics like I really don't want to talk about them unless I've dived into them, studied them out. And it's kind of hard to find that kind of time sometimes. So we did the podcast, like I said, up until 2 months ago, up until the end of 2023. And what happened? Like, you might be asking yourself, why'd you stop doing the podcast? And I've talked about this in previous videos, but you might be new around here. You might have just clicked on this video to see some idiots reminiscing on things he learned on YouTube and things he wished he could do better. But y'all all know that a year and a half ago, me and my wife split up. And of course, man, that sent me into, as you can imagine, not a good place. And I was trying to get all the advice I could get. I joined the marriage program and watching all these videos on YouTube. And one of the things it kept saying was you have to find what you were passionate about before you were married and dive back into that. And I was like, well, I was all about my podcast before I got married. So I'm going to dive back into it. And I started doing the podcast again every other week instead of every week because I didn't want to get trapped in that cycle of thinking I had to do it nonstop all the time. And after doing that for a couple weeks, I was like, man, part of the reason me and my wife split was all the time I spent at my desk. Like, what can I do to get away from this desk? Because I'm sick of sitting here at this desk all the time, doing schoolwork, doing Sunday school lessons, doing podcasts, always at the desk. I need to break away from that habit. And I've been into trucks since I was in high school and used to work on trucks all the time. And, if something breaks on my truck, I'm going to try and fix it unless I just absolutely in way over my head. I like to do suspension, lower trucks, customized trucks, stuff like that. And I started watching YouTube videos on that. Junkyard Digs, Vice Grip Garage, Sleeper Dude, Morski Repair, Puddin's Fab Shop. I've been watching them guys for years, and I'm watching their content like I could do that. Like I could do that. I feel like I could do that. I was like, but how do I incorporate the Bible into it? Because I can't just not do that. If I feel like it's my calling, I got to incorporate Bible. And I'm looking at these channels, noticing some of them are Christian guys doing the channel, but I'm like, how many people would benefit if I did automotive content and they come to me looking for automotive content, whether they're looking for good stuff or bad stuff, because we're working on becoming good. We're not there yet. And at the end of the video, they hear someone tell them about Jesus. And they weren't expecting it. And it's the answer they've been looking for. Wonder how many people I could reach with the gospel by, because the people that watch my channel, they're not lost people, most of them. If you're going to a Christian channel, you're probably already Christian. And you're just, looking to expand your knowledge and stuff like that, whatever your reason is. But doing a car channel, you're you're probably not a Christian necessarily. I'm on 50-50, something like that. But you're not seeking it, but you get it and realize that is what you needed. So that's why I made a decision to switch over to being a car channel, getting rid of the podcast, because it was so much work trying to do a podcast and a YouTube channel. And I said, which one do I like better? I enjoy the filming. The filming is what I enjoy better rather than sitting at my desk behind a microphone. So, and I don't have my own place because, in 2021, me and my wife were going to be having to move out of our house that we were living in. They were raising the rent and the place was falling apart. So my wife was like, well, let's just move in with your parents and we'll save up some money till we can buy a house. And then 6 months later, she was gone. So I'm stuck here at my parents' for the time being in my dad's garage that he just built. So I have to get in here, when he's not in here so I can film content. So it's a little bit of a struggle there, but we're making it work. And I'm hoping, in the next year or two to have my own place, my own garage, where I can just make content anytime I want about whatever I want. But until then, this is the situation we're in, and we're going to make the best of it. So it was a good bit of a leap of faith going to make car content and not having my own garage. But we're making it work. Hopefully, we're going to get better and better. And it's kind of like starting from scratch, even though I still have basically the same amount of subscribers I had before. And it's hard to grow. Apparently, I have hit the ceiling. I got 453 subscribers, and for the life of me, I cannot get over that. But I like to get to 1,000 views so I can monetize my channel, start bringing in some income, help pay for some parts, and some cool things I like to do. But it's kind of like starting over. I might have the same subscribers, but getting more people to come watch is a new challenge. I'm learning new things because doing podcast ain't hard. Sit in front of a camera at a desk and stuff like that. But having to come out here and do this and get the camera right to where y'all can see what I'm doing and try to be entertaining while I do all that, that's a little bit of a challenge. But we'll make it work. We'll get there. So what is some of the equipment that I use? Well, when I was doing the podcast in the house, I had a Logitech webcam and I had a Rode podcaster mic and I had I can't remember the name of the interface. Can't remember. But I had an interface that, helped control my gain, stuff like that I plug the microphone into. And that's what I was using. I'm not going to go through all the equipment I've used over the years, so we'd be here a while. But that's what I was using to do the podcast. And my software, Wondershare Filmora for my editing, which I don't necessarily recommend. I was using Filmora version 9 for the last 4 or 5 years, and it was fine. And I was like, man, it's probably time for me to upgrade. I'm starting a new YouTube channel. We're going to be on YouTube more often. I was like, I should upgrade to the new one, which is like 13. And I did, and kind of regret that. Kind of wish I hadn't done that. But I used that for my editing, and I used the one. I can't remember. I probably should have wrote this down or something. But the free Audacity. The audacity of me to forget that. I used Audacity to edit the actual audio of the podcast and stuff like that. And so when I got out here, started making car videos or truck videos, I was using my phone, and boy, that was a pain in the butt. Filming on your phone is fine because your phone has a great camera on it, most likely. But trying to fit your phone inside an engine bay or something underneath the truck, that's a little bit challenging. So I took the plunge. We got my Christmas bonus at work back in September. I know that don't make sense, but it does. And I took my Christmas bonus I got at work, and I bought a DJI Action 3. Now, they did have the Action 4 when I bought it, but according to what I could see, the Action 4 was the exact same camera. They just kind of updated the insides a little bit, and the Action 3 was cheaper. And why didn't I get a GoPro? Because of all the reviews I've read on GoPro, people just buy it for the name. Because when you think of Action Cam, you think of GoPro, and they got problems. And of all the videos and reviews I watched of DJI versus GoPro, the DJI is just better camera. It's just better. And it's cheaper, like $50 cheaper than a GoPro. So I got a DJI. And that's what I'm filming with now. That's what I've been filming with the last, I don't know how many videos, 3 or 4 videos we've been filming on the Action 3 now. And I bought a ridiculous amount of accessories for it. And I'm testing out this new microphone that I just got today. I had that cheap one that I broke. If you look back at my video for my road trip prep, I broke my cheap $20 mic, and I was been using my expensive mic since then, and they stink. They stink. So what did I do the other day? I ordered another cheap one off Amazon because I liked the cheap one I had, and it worked really good. So I got another one. So don't let that be a lesson to you too. If you're starting a YouTube channel, you want to buy a microphone. The best high dollar microphone, like not counting Rode, because I know that one's really good. But some of the higher dollar microphones you see on Amazon, just because they're expensive, don't mean they're good. Don't mean they're good. So, and I got all kinds of uh, extra batteries and memory cards and whatnot. But that's what I'm using to film on now, and it was worth the investment. I absolutely love this camera, and I've used it for several different things. It's very handy, very handy. So 8 years I've been on YouTube. When y'all see this video, I'm gonna release it on Friday. Today's Wednesday. 8 years on YouTube, 453 subscribers. I wish it was more than that. I think it would be more than that after 8 years. But like I said, I'm really not good at putting myself out there because I'm an introvert, and that's just not what we do. So that's why I count on y'all to share my videos. If you would, like them, subscribe, all that stuff. But after 8 years on YouTube, man, did it change my life? No. Kinda. As an introvert, there's not but a few people that get to see who I really am. And when I get on the camera and it's just me and this camera, I get to be myself because in my mind, there's no one watching me, judging what I'm doing, which is an insecurity that you got to get over. But that stuff takes time. So on YouTube, get to be myself for the most part. Y'all ain't seen the worst of it yet. Hang around. Uh, and that's what's good about YouTube for an introvert. I get to come out of my shell because I'm not looking directly at you, and you're not looking directly at me. So YouTube ain't changed my life. Sometimes it's a pain in the butt. Comments can be a pain in the butt. Putting all kinds of work and effort into a video and it only getting a few views can be a pain in the butt. But it's fun. I tell you what, I take all this footage when we're making these videos, and most people they don't like the editing, and they hire the editing out as soon as they can. But that's my favorite part, is taking all the pieces I've made. I recorded some over here, I recorded some over here, I recorded this over here, and I go get on my computer, take 20, 30 clips of video that I made, and I put them all together into a video, and I make something out of it. And that part is just really fun. I enjoy that a lot. But we got more stuff coming on the channel. We are going to eventually work on Scarlet over there. I wish I'd show you, but the shed's in the way there. Really want to get Scarlet back on the road again, get a fuel pump in her, get some big old meaty tires on her. Come on. And we got some more work to do. Got to slam the F-150. Got to do that. Got some rust repair on the Ranger. And I might have another project coming. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So I appreciate y'all that watch my videos and come hang out with me. And those of you that comment, appreciate you. Those of you that like and watch, I appreciate you coming around, because this was kind of a step for me, taking something that I like to do, but I don't have time to do that much, and now I'm devoting more time to it and making some content for it. So after all this time on YouTube, 8 years, and it's been fun. I can't wait to see what the next 8 years has in store. And y'all hang around, because we're only headed up. Started from the bottom, we're headed up. All right. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me and watching my video. My battery's about to die on my camera because it didn't charge, because the charger in my room is dumb. But remember, you might regret buying that Ford, but you won't regret being forgiven. See y'all next time.